everybody. We are at episode 49 of Eat, Drink, Write, and Urban Fantasy Whiteboard. Today, we're going to finish out our alignment discussions that we've been having, and today will be chaotic alignment.
Mm-hmm.
But first, how was your week?
It was pretty chill. I was really confused because we're recording this on a Monday, and we've done that before. But it just like my brain was like, it's the start of the week. It's this you haven't done.
How was
No, it was good. Work has settled down a lot, so I'm not nearly as stressed as I was a few episodes ago. And then I got to come and see you guys over the weekend, so that was really nice.
That was wonderful. Yeah. It was a catch-up week for me. It was kind of that sweet spot in between the two video courts that I have to deal with. So this week is going to be a nightmare. But last week was pretty good. I actually had time to start thinking about writing again. And which might be because I'm reading again. I haven't read in a long time, and I'm reading the new Kalena Price. Is that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The Grave Witch series.
So amazing, and it always makes my brain start going when I have time to read, and I've missed it. I haven't read in a long time, which is it's something that every writer needs to do, is to read, and I haven't had time. So I actually started that book because it came out, I don't know, 2 weeks ago
ish. Yeah, I think I texted. Yeah, I guess it was like November 24th or something like that.
So I bought it immediately as soon as you told me it came out, and I've read a little bit. Haven't had time. By the time I go to bed, I'm like, oh, I'm going to read. And then it's like, I've read a paragraph. I'm going to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And it's a good book, too. It's just hard. I need to come up with a plan on how to get writing again. It's been too long, and I've got to find the balance because it is important to me. So somehow I've got to think about a plan on how to get that done. I did do a lot of Christmas shopping.
Nice.
I think the FedEx, the UPS, and the USPS people hate and love me. They hate me because of obviously all the work I'm giving them, but they love me because I leave little drinks and treats out there for them to pick up, and I got a big thank you sign out there for them.
Oh.
So, one guy, it was funny because we actually were outside when he came, and he looked at us and he handed us the package, and he's like, I want to get one of those. And we're like, that's what it's for. Go get some.
That's awesome.
What are you eating and drinking?
I'm drinking a lemon vodka soda. It was the easiest thing to make, and then we do the Misfits Market box thing or whatever. And so I got, I think, like 5 lemons in it. So I figured I'll use them for vodka sodas. And then I made movie popcorn.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Have you eaten dinner?
No, I'll make dinner after this.
Yeah, my dinner's upstairs waiting for me, so I haven't eaten, so this drink is going to hit me hard. By the time we're done with it, who knows if I'll be talking correctly or not.
Me too.
I'm drinking a dirty martini. I've got these feta stuffed olives that are amazing. And I'm drinking out of these are plastic cups, and they've got this little swirl on them. They're the holiday cups.
Oh yeah, like a candy cane when I look in
this every year, yeah. And I felt festive, so for the people watching on YouTube, I've got a background up that's got drinks all the way across, and I want to try every one of those drinks. I have a green screen, so that's exciting. I can actually not sit in this horrible. The room is fine. My chaotic mess is not fine.
Yeah.
So I've got court coming up, and I don't want the defendants and the judges to see this unprofessional room, and I don't have time to clean it. So green screen.
Yeah. Fair enough. Use that background for court.
Yeah, I don't think so. No. I have jokes.
Oh, hit me with them.
These are stupid jokes, but they're funny. Why don't eggs tell jokes?
Why?
They crack each other up.
Oh, I love it.
What do you call someone with no body and no nose?
What?
Nobody knows.
Oh. Wow.
How does a penguin build a house?
How?
igloos it together.
Right. I figured it had to be something with an igloo, but I was like, I don't know. I don't know how that will tie in.
So those made me happy today. I needed a little jolt of fun, and that was my fun of the day, which is really sad. If that's my fun of the day, it's been a really long day. Okay, so character alignment. Again, this is the topic from Lena Lux, and I actually think that her Instagram is lena.dance.lux. I'm not positive. She's got some gorgeous pictures of her dancing there. I think she might have a dancing studio or whatever, but very cool.
Nice.
Anyway, thank you for giving us this topic to talk about.
It's been one of the funnest topics I think that we've covered, especially in a series. It was really fun doing all three of these back to back. Or I guess it will be once we finish this one, but whatever. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's made me think a whole lot. You know, I thought because I played D&D all the time as a kid, I thought I had a good handle on this, but applying it to writing is a different thing. You know, D&D characters are more two-dimensional, although they grow as you go through campaigns. They become real people. The story grows just like in a book.
Right.
But I've never thought of using this thought process, this chart, with my writing. I never really thought about it until Lena Lux asked about it. So just to reiterate,
Yes, recap.
Okay, so I've only had less than a drink. I don't understand. Okay, I'm gonna rehash what we talked about, exactly what we're talking about. That made no sense. Character alignment is a character's moral and ethical outlook on life. It helps in making the characters act in a way that's realistic with, you know, their alignment, so to speak.
Right.
So it gives you a base to start from. It's a really good place to start, and it helps you also in the editing phase after you've written your first draft, because all of us, I think, as writers, have written our characters doing things that they wouldn't do.
Yeah.
That's when we catch it, is, wait a minute, I don't think they really would act that way. I remember when we used to watch Buffy.
Yeah.
And the writers were talking about how they would have one of the characters say something, and one of the other writers would go, you know, I don't know if Buffy's saying that or if Willow's saying that. And if you can't tell, there's a problem.
Right, yeah.
So this kind of helps you focus what your characters should and should not do and how they would act. And as you're grappling with, to me, the coolest thing about these alignments is that your character arc can go from alignment to alignment. They don't have to, but they sometimes do. And that's fascinating to me, to watch that shift from lawful good to neutral good, or, you know, that's fascinating to me. Really good character development.
No, I think so too.
It helps how your characters might react to each other also, and helps increase the tension, which we all need to drive our book along to keep the reader turning those pages.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and then just like knowing what tensions might come into play gives you an idea of what character types you might need in your stories, or maybe your story is lacking a character type or an alignment or whatever. And so going over these alignments, as we've done in these episodes, might help you kind of see where your story needs an alignment.
Yeah, to add that interest, to keep that tension going. That's a good point.
Yeah. So
just to remind everybody, you've kind of got an axis where on axis 1 you have lawful, neutral, and chaotic, and on axis 2 you have good, neutral, and evil, which means that you have lawful good, lawful neutral, lawful evil, neutral good, neutral neutral, or true neutral, and neutral evil, and chaotic good, chaotic neutral, and chaotic evil. And that's the one that we're going to be talking about today, is the chaotic side of things, which is very fun, honestly.
Yeah.
So we'll start with chaotic good. A chaotic good character believes in goodness and right, but has little use for the laws and regulations. This character hates it when people try to intimidate others and tell them what to do. They view freedom and randomness of actions as the ultimate truth. and they place value on life and the welfare of each individual.
Yeah.
I think what they do is they look at people as individuals, and these laws that might be a broad law don't necessarily fit that individual person in the same way. No two people are alike. So that law and those facts, I deal with this in court all the time. You have the law, but you also have to look at the facts of each case to determine how that law applies to it, which makes me think I might be a little chaotic.
Maybe a little bit. I mean, you were talking a little bit about it last week too, where, you have to look at the law with common sense. You can't just be the lawful good and ignore, the miscomings of law and structure and government. But at the same time, I don't think that you can completely throw law away. Like, you just have to, come at it with, like you said, common sense. I think you were talking about that last week.
I mean, so does that make me chaotic? Because I believe 100% in the law. I think laws are necessary, but I also think that they don't fit every circumstance. You have to think.
Right. Well, I think, in terms of asking like whether or not you're a chaotic good, I don't think that we're pinned into just one alignment. I think that we are very fluid as people. I think you probably gravitate towards one more than another.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not to say you're stuck in just this one box, because, obviously people don't fit in boxes. So I think you're lawful good and maybe with a touch of chaotic good or something like that,
I like that idea. I like to be able to be a touch, and that works with my characters. I was thinking about my fairies. There's a lot of movement going on with what they choose to do.
Right.
We'll get into my fairies later, but
yeah.
A chaotic good person views, in a chaotic good society, the people mean well and try to do right, but are hampered by a natural dislike of big government, which,
right.
We as the United States right now, and I think as Europe, and I think most countries have a dislike of Big Brother watching over you and telling you what to do. We do value individual freedom in our world today.
Yeah.
Whether that makes us chaotic or not, I don't know. Because, I think even though we might value our individual freedoms, look at the issue with the drugs, with marijuana.
Yeah.
The society is changing and the law is changing with society to come into the and that's how it worked with women's rights and women being able to vote. It takes time to change these things.
Right.
So, I don't know, but a chaotic good person is like, screw the rules, what I'm doing is right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that pretty much encompasses what chaotic good is. I have a few more points on it. They tend to hold personal freedom and welfare above others, like you were talking about. They're good people. However, they don't adhere to these, laws and regulations and like that kind of thing. They just trust authority. They're not going to put all of their eggs into one basket, that basket being law, and that kind of thing. These characters believe that that life has no grand plan, like there's no general structure to the universe or fate or whatever. Every person's spirit is essentially noble and good. It's just a matter of how they fumble their way through life, kind of thing. And I think their belief in that, like, noble and goodness is what makes them chaotic good, as opposed to just, whatever. I don't believe in anything.
There's a sense of honor even in the chaotic world. There's still that sense of honor with chaotic good. I was thinking, a lot of dystopian novels. We did an episode on dystopian societies, and I think generally when you're reading a dystopian society, the main character and the whole point of the book is they're chaotic good people. They are fighting against big government to fix whatever it is that big government has come up with.
Right. Yeah.
So I think you've got a lot of chaotic good characters out there because they are flaunting the law. But my question then is, once that dystopian society has corrected itself, would they then become lawful good?
At the very least, I think probably neutral good. I feel like there would definitely be a shift towards, well, because I think neutral because, they've gone through a government that has been extremely oppressive and in the wrong in terms of justice, whatever. I've had half of my drink now. Oh geez. Yeah, so I lost my train of thought.
Well,
It's gone now.
what it makes me think of is that the black leader that died, and he said, "Make good trouble."
That's a great quote.
Lewis.
That's a fantastic quote.
Yeah, make good trouble, and that is chaotic good.
Yeah.
They want good for the people, and the government is stopping that goodness from happening. And so, that make good trouble. To me, he's a hero of mine. So
yeah,
that is a very heartfelt quote.
Say who said the quote again?
I think it's John Lewis.
John Lewis. Yeah.
I think I don't know what state he's from, but he had a lot of influence here in Georgia.
That's awesome. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What a good quote. I like that quote a lot. Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Because he was in the time of the social unrest where the blacks were trying to find equality. Mm-hmm. I don't think they still have found, but we're working towards it. We're trying. We're getting there. Yeah. But how to do that is to make good trouble. And he wasn't inciting
violence or anything like that. Yeah.
He was saying make good trouble, and they would do things like sit-ins and peaceful protests, and that's good trouble, and that is needed to get these laws that aren't always right, and that's kind of why I went into the law, is to work from the inside.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to work from the outside, because you're seen as a criminal,
right?
But if you go on the inside, then you can make, so in my job as a prosecutor, I am in the perfect position to look at each individual case and apply justice, as opposed to just saying, "Oh, sorry, you stole that bread to feed your kid."
Right.
You got to use common sense. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think going over this and talking about it and having these discussions, I love chaotic good characters. They're a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. I like the good people that are willing to do what it takes to be just and to be good. That's mm-hmm. awesome.
Yeah, I agree. Did I cut you off? I think you were trying to list some points, or are you done with your points?
I don't know. I think I'm done, but I'll move on. No, wait, let me move on. I've got 2 more points.
Okay.
I'm feeling this drink now, if y'all can't tell.
Yeah, me too.
So chaotic good, as much as I love them and as much as I think that they are great characters, they're awesome for dystopian settings and that kind of thing, they can be a dangerous alignment when it disrupts the order of society and punishes those who do well for themselves. Yeah. So it can disrupt, people who are able to, work with the law, work with the society that is established, and make a life for themselves. And if that gets disrupted, that's obviously bad for them. That's where chaotic good can become a negative. But it depends on that society that's there. So, there are back and forths, but in terms of conflicts and tensions that you have in your story, that is something to think about.
That's so interesting, because as you know, your Aunt Debbie, speaking in terms of our society today here in the United States, and I know the rest of the world, anybody that's listening from outside the United States, which we actually have, I think, equal amounts of people outside of the United States listening as people inside the United States.
Yeah.
She has that issue as well. She feels like, I worked for what I've got, and she did. She worked hard for what she had,
Right.
Your daddy and I ate ramen noodles but she is of that mindset where I've worked for what I've gotten, and so therefore I don't want to be disrupted regardless of what's happening to the people.
Right.
Happy where she is. And
yeah.
I I don't care how well off I am, which I'm not. I mean, I'm not hurting,
Right. Right.
but I am very aware of the hungry children. You know, maybe it's because I was room mom for all 4 of you kids. I've seen all aspects of children, and you know, and a hungry child is not okay.
Right.
That is never okay. I don't
Right.
care if I'm fine, you know, and I've got heat on in my house. I've got a computer and internet that works. That it's not okay for me to ignore the fact that there's a problem,
Right.
you know. And I think that your point was a good one, although I don't remember what your point was because I went off on a tangent.
Basically, chaotic good can be dangerous
Oh.
when it disrupts society and punishes those who do well.
Oh yes, she would agree with that. She would feel that this good trouble I'm talking about might hurt her family.
Right.
That's not okay.
Yeah.
You know, but we all have to think what's important. What, as a society, what do we think is important?
Right. Right.
Yeah, more chaotic than lawful. I love the law though. It's so, I really, really love the law.
Yeah.
And I love the concept of trying to come up with rules that people can follow so that everybody knows what to do and what not to do, and what the people have said is okay and what's not okay.
Right. I mean, again, I don't think we all fit into one box. I think we definitely align with one more than another. But as far as people go, we're very fluid.
I agree. I think that it's simplistic in terms of being a writer and trying to make our characters fit into one of these
Right.
boxes. It's not realistic. We do travel that chart, you know, and I think that you need to just, it's a good starting point. It's a good thing to think about. You know, think about your book. Think about all of your characters, not just the main character.
Right.
Not just the protagonist and the antagonist, but all of your characters. You need to think about these points.
Right.
Make it a realistic, in-depth book.
Absolutely.
So, good philosophies. Did I cut you off?
You sure did. I have adjectives.
Adjectives, yes. Yes.
Chaotic good characters are typically unpredictable, independent, free-spirited, cheerful, optimistic, easygoing, carefree, helpful, kind, merciful, respectful of personal liberties, and anarchic. Now you can go.
I think I fit a lot of those characteristics, except for I'm not anarchic.
Yeah, I don't. I don't think you're Antarctic either, Mother. I don't think you're a penguin.
Hey, I had a penguin joke. Okay. I am spilling my drink all over my table.
Goodness.
Why is it doing that? I know what I want for Christmas.
Okay.
I need what are these things called? These.
Mixer.
I need one of these that's
Mixer.
small. This one's huge. I don't make that. I mean, there's just me. No one else in this family drinks except for my children, and they're never here. Well, we don't want Riley to drink yet because she's only 15.
Well, fair enough.
Okay, I'm going to move on now.
Do it.
The chaotic good philosophies.
Yeah.
You shall lie in pursuit of goodness. Now, see, I can't lie.
Yeah.
I don't like lying. It makes me hurt when I lie. Lies are bad to me. So that puts me more in the lawful thing. I can't lie even in the pursuit of goodness. I just can't.
Yeah. Well, I'm also very bad at lying. Like, I don't like lying either.
I think I raised you all that way. I mean,
Absolutely.
It's lies. You're only as important as what people will. If you've lost your credibility, you've lost everything.
Right.
You can't make a difference anymore. You can't help anybody anymore if you've been caught in a lie. No one will believe you. Anyway, so I can't lie, but this says chaotic good people shall lie in the pursuit of goodness. You shall not harm the innocent, which we've heard before.
Mm-hmm.
You shall not murder. You shall help the needy, which, okay, that sounds good. You shall honor those who promote freedom and goodness. You shall break the law in pursuit of goodness. Now, I have a problem with breaking the law but I also don't have a problem with applying the law liberally.
Wow. That might be like lawful. Yeah. I don't know. If I don't know.
There's a way to change the law. You know, like the marijuana thing.
Yeah.
You know, okay, a lot of people think that it's okay to do that. Well, let's get the law changed. And I understand it takes a long time, but we're there. We're getting there.
Yes. I think that is a very large issue to cover because I'm one of those people who thinks that it doesn't need to be illegal.
I agree, but
And it,
it's illegal right now.
right. And I'm not saying that like everybody should go off and do weed despite the law, whatever. However, I think it's ridiculous that anyway, this is getting very into political
We're way off track tonight.
I think, I think marijuana has been used as a system to control a large sect of people, and I think that's wrong.
But we have to change the law to fix it. You can't just break the law.
I mean, I agree with that.
Okay.
I still just think that it's borderline breaking the law in the way that the law has been used.
Correct. So you got to work from the inside to get it fixed. And
yeah, but how long has it been? So anyway, let's continue on.
You're right. Topic for another time. Not related. You shall help the needy. I think I said that. You shall honor those who promote freedom and goodness. You shall break the law in pursuit of goodness. Again, I disagree, but
right.
You shall not betray others. I agree with that. You shall avenge the acts of evildoers and enemies of freedom, which define avenge. Yes, I'm a lawyer. It comes down to definitions of these words.
Can I backtrack to the you shall break the law in pursuit of goodness thing?
Yeah.
What about the dystopian societies? They're obviously breaking the law in order to go and fix and create things and make things just, and they're not going to sit back and wait for a law to be passed, obviously, because a law will not be passed.
Yeah, because in those worlds, I think what I'm speaking of is in our world, we're not dystopian yet.
Right.
We still, at least in the United States, we still have democracy and a mechanism to fix these things. Although that is under fire right now. I will not go into that any further.
Yeah.
But I think in dystopian societies, and this is something you should think about when you're writing dystopian societies, they are the good guys, so to speak, are breaking the law.
Right.
But generally in dystopian societies, the laws are ruthless and aren't applied properly.
Yeah.
I keep thinking of what is the series with 4 and
the Divergent series?
Yes.
Yeah.
This one, when I was doing this research for the chaotic side, this was the series that kept popping into my head, was the Divergent series.
Yeah.
Excellent books. I have not read 4 yet. Riley has it. I have not read it. At some point, I've got to get that book and read it. But yes, we all, as the watchers or readers of that series, want them to break the law because the law is ridiculous.
Right.
And there is no one in those dystopian societies who can rewrite the law. It's so far gone, you can't work from the inside. You have to work from the outside.
Right.
In a real democracy, there are people, you talk and you work it out, but in dystopian societies, that doesn't work.
Right. I was just curious about your opinions on it.
Yeah, this is going to be a really long episode. We're sorry, guys. We're drinking and talking politics, and it's very apt in today's world.
Yeah.
Okay, so you shall not place duty above the personal desire to do good. You shall seek unlimited good for others and freedom in society.
Yeah.
Freedom, you don't want to allow a freedom that can put others in danger.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I think that's the point of this chaotic alignment is that, they are thinking about others and the good of others. However, how can they get freedom for the majority? How can they get freedom in general and in terms of their point of view? So it's, obviously they're trying to help people, but do they view their version of helping people as better than the government's version of helping people?
Yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Let's look at some examples, because some of these examples that I came up with for chaotic, I think I've used before in the neutral. So so interesting. So Bilbo Baggins, we talked about him before.
We definitely did.
By the end of his, okay, there's 3 books in that series, The Hobbit. Well, 3 movies. There's 1 book. But by the end of the adventure, I would categorize Bilbo Baggins as chaotic good.
I think so too. Well, especially since, he was the burglar. He was sent in to steal things, and like that was his job. That was his whole role. So I think playing that role throughout the entire book / movies definitely changed him into chaotic.
Yeah, when he started, I don't think he ever would have even thought about violating the law. And to be
I don't think so either.
That it's fascinating. That was a great character arc. If we haven't done an episode on character arcs, we need to do one. We might need to do another one.
Yeah.
We've learned a lot doing this podcast. So some of the topics we started with, we may need to revisit.
Absolutely.
Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
I think he is 100% chaotic good.
I can see it, yeah.
Absolutely defies the gods, doesn't believe in the God. Well, believes in them. He's the son of God. But
right.
He has no respect for those gods.
Yeah.
Perfect example of chaotic good. He is definitely good. He wants what's right for everyone.
Right.
Doesn't understand the stifling, how the law, he's like me. He's like, common sense, use sense. So that's a great example. Do you watch Criminal Minds?
No, I do not.
Oh, Penelope Garcia.
She's the computer person though.
She is.
I've seen a little bit. I've seen a little bit.
She is an amazing character. I love her character. Before she started with the FBI doing good,
she's
a hacker who hacked against bad guys.
Yeah.
And in her mind, that was okay to do because she was going after the bad guys. So chaotic good for sure. She was doing it good at the people.
Yeah. To bring in an urban fantasy example here, because it's relevant. I'm reading the Jill Kismet series right now by Lilith St. Croix, ? I don't remember at the moment. But it's the Jill Kismet series, and she's got, she's a hunter, and she defends the city from all kinds of evil creatures or whatever. And she's got this guy named Hutch in her pocket who's a previous hacker, and he's been repurposed to help her and help the government fight the evil beings and stuff. And so he also will occasionally slip into old habits and hack into the FBI just because he can. And then she's got to bail him out and all that kind of stuff.
We need to do an episode on the current books that are out there and talk about all these wonderful things that are out there, just because there's so many people, I follow Patricia Briggs and all of that. And all the time people are saying, okay, I've read everything. What next? We should do an episode on all the stuff we've read. There's so much more out there we haven't read.
Yeah.
If we can get people turned on to, Mercy or the Grave Witch, my God.
Absolutely.
And if they could turn us on to some more stuff too. I think everybody is always looking for that next really good series that we can get sucked into and love forever.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're off topic again. Angel from Buffy.
Yeah, I was thinking about this one. I guess I mostly agree that he's chaotic good. I almost want to say that he's like maybe neutral good.
Hmm.
Uh, maybe even, yeah, I would almost say true neutral. Like I don't know that he cares about anyone except Buffy. Um,
He wants to though.
he wants to, but that doesn't mean that he necessarily does, right?
When he's
He's,
Angel, I mean, his whole series, the Angel series was him. I mean, Buffy wasn't even involved in that.
right, right.
And his whole series was trying to do. You can watch his turmoil.
Yeah.
Now, Angelus is a whole nother story.
Oh, he's chaotic evil, probably.
And I think I've got him on my list somewhere in here.
Yeah.
But Angel, I think he wants to be good. Whether
Yeah.
he makes it to that point, I don't know.
I
Chaotic though,
maybe
or neutral.
neutral.
Pretty
Yeah.
neutral. Okay, so Dr. McCoy from Star Trek.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Star Trek. I am a Trekkie. I love Star Trek. In fact, when I was playing D&D, I won a prize because I knew the name of an episode of the original Star Trek. It was Bunk Bunk on the Head, and my dungeon master said, "Who knows what that's from?" And I'm like, "Oh, me! It was from Miri in Star Trek." And
Oh
he's
my
like,
God.
"Oh my God!" And so I won a Monster Compendium.
Wow. That's where I come from. That explains a lot about me and my life.
It does. Doesn't that explain everything? Mal from Firefly. Did you watch Firefly?
Yeah.
I was going to say, please tell me that you watched Firefly.
Of course I've seen Firefly. Yeah, but I agree with that one 100%.
I mean, it's a Joss Whedon thing.
Yeah.
Both she and I are huge, huge Joss Whedon fans.
Yeah.
That man is amazing, and I want him to do more. I would love him to take the Mercy Thompson series and make that into a TV series.
He could probably do it pretty well.
He can do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Did you watch Burn Notice?
Episodes here and there, like I know the characters.
It was on the USA channel, and
yeah.
I watched it from start to finish. Loved that series. Michael Weston is chaotic good.
Yeah.
He worked for the good guys. Well, let's rephrase that. He worked for the government, who was not always the good guy.
Right.
And he got burned, and the whole series is about him, but his personality is chaotic good.
Yeah.
He wants good regardless of what the law is.
Right.
Sam and Dean Winchester from Supernatural.
I think this one's really interesting. I think it's interesting to apply, whether or not a character abides the law to urban fantasy stories, just because, does the world know about monsters? Do they hunt monsters for the government? Does that make them lawful good? That kind of thing.
I know, right?
So it's interesting to think about Sam and Dean as chaotic good versus, do they really have a choice to be, because they can't really follow the law. They gotta, right.
They break the law every day, all the time.
Which I guess absolutely makes them chaotic good. But I think it's just interesting to think about it in an urban fantasy context.
And what's really interesting is if you haven't watched the Supernatural series, I am a huge fan. It's gone through its ups and downs, and I understand all of the points of view that are out there about Supernatural, but I love it. And I would say Dean is more chaotic good than Sam. Sam wants to be lawful.
Right.
He went to law school. He was in law school when the whole series started. Is your kitty cat eating popcorn?
Yeah.
But the whole Sam and Dean Winchester thing, and I know that the final season is out and about. I have not watched it yet. I don't know if it's out yet.
It's out. Yeah.
I'm afraid to watch it. I don't want it to end
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people. I think I've only seen like 4 seasons anyway, so
Some seasons are better than others. I really did hate it when they went off on some tangents, but
right.
Sam and Dean, I've always loved Sam and Dean.
Yeah.
Um, but I do think, I think Sam tries, he might be more lawful neutral.
Yeah, I can see that.
He wants to be lawful. And Dean is like, don't think so. Although I don't know that he's chaotic. I think he might be neutral.
I think what makes them chaotic is the fact that they don't follow the law. Like they're not adhered to the law. They're willing to go outside the law. They're willing to do what it takes to,
Absolutely. They pretend to be FBI agents all the time. That's about
right,
as outside the law as you can get.
right.
Um, that was all the examples that I could come up with for chaotic good.
Yeah.
Did you have any others? No?
No, I think, well, I'm sure I could think of some if I sat here long enough. But I think the one that I had with the Jill Kismet series was
I haven't read that. I thought we read all the same series. You've left
I
me behind.
wow. I picked this one up over the pandemic. So I'm still reading it. It's 6 books. I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm on book 5. So
We should start, well, our listeners tell us if you think that this is a good idea. I think we should start another, we've got this, which is our writing. We've got the Myth and Monsters, which also relates to writing. I think we ought to do like a book club episode every month as well.
yeah, let us know if that would sound fun to you guys.
Because I would love to talk, shoot, we could do that weekly.
Yeah.
All the books that we've read. Oh my goodness. And this Brave Witch series that I'm reading right now, I want to go upstairs and read.
Yeah.
Okay, so chaotic neutral. A chaotic neutral follows his whims. He is an individualist above all else.
Yeah.
Good and evil are a necessary balance, but randomness and disorder are desired.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty common with neutrality is, the balance aspect. Yeah.
They understand there has to be this balance, but I don't know. They like the randomness and disorder more.
Right.
Freedom from society's restrictions with a do-gooder zeal. I love that. A do-gooder zeal.
Mm-hmm.
But freedom from society's restrictions.
Right.
Chaotic neutral is constantly teetering between good and evil, rebelling, and bending the law to fit his needs. Some say that they're the ultimate free spirits, which I was called a free spirit all of my life. I have always been called a free spirit. But I still think I'm more good than neutral.
I think so too. Yeah.
Others say that they're just crazy.
There is that. People say that about you too, so.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so these characters may also shift allegiances at a moment's notice or remain with the leader for years. And I think that really makes clear the neutrality aspect of these characters. They don't have an allegiance to a king or a queen or a government or what have you. They might for some time, and then they'll switch when it, benefits them or benefits their goals or whatever.
Yeah.
The chaotic neutral character also feels that there is no plan at all for the universe. So while it might need balance or whatever, there isn't a plan. And I think that ties into what you were saying about their affinity for randomness and disorder. They tend to believe in luck and chance rather than fate or destiny, which I think ties into that first point that I just made. Yeah. Well, especially I think that makes sense though. If you believe in a fate or a destiny, then odds are that you might believe in a god or that kind of thing. And I feel like chaotic neutral characters are less likely to believe in those kinds of things. So I feel like believing in luck and chance is actually pretty on par.
Okay.
Chaotic neutral characters can be a dangerous alignment when it seeks to eliminate all authority and harmony and order in society. I think depending on the society, obviously, just getting rid of it in general is going to create that disorder and randomness that they think should be at the forefront. But
yeah, but they're not evil,
right,
wanting death all the time,
right.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. And then I just have a list of adjectives that describe these types of characters. So unreliable, independent, greedy, inconsistent, unpredictable, which seems to be a common theme with chaotic characters, is unpredictable. Selfish, disorderly, anarchic, self-centered, confusing, unfettered, free, and individualistic.
This makes me think of Harry Potter's goblins, but I would have to say they're more lawful than
Probably call them more lawful.
chaotic, but they are greedy.
Yeah.
And selfish, but they're not inconsistent. I guess that's the difference. They're self-centered, they're confusing, but they're not unfettered or free.
You're right.
They follow those rules. Interesting. Well, I've got philosophies.
Hit me with them.
You shall lie to promote your freedom. You shall
Okay.
not kill the innocent. So at least they're not killing innocents. Okay.
They're not murderers.
You shall not murder.
Well, yep.
So help the needy if such action promotes your freedom. You shall honor no authority above yourself. That one is telling. That is right on par.
Right.
Shall break the law whenever convenient. You shall not betray others unless your life is in jeopardy. You shall not aid enemies of freedom or those who promote law. You shall pursue pleasure, which I think that goes for a lot of the different alignments, honestly.
Honestly, yeah.
You shall promote unlimited freedom for yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the neutral dichotomy, not dichotomy, that's not the right word. The neutral
Alignment?
alignment is all about yourself, whether it's good, neutral, evil.
Yeah.
You're about yourself.
I think so too. Because they're not towards, the government is good for all the people, no government is good for all the people. They're smack in the middle. What is good for them?
I think the common denomination between all of them is themselves.
Yeah.
What works for me?
Right.
I might be good as long as it works for me. I might be neutral as long as it works for me. I might be chaotic as long as it works for me.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's talk some examples.
All right.
Jack Sparrow, Pirates
Yeah.
of the Caribbean. I mean, he is definitely chaotic.
Absolutely.
He's not good and he's not evil, so I think
Yeah.
you have to be chaotic neutral. I think that's perfect.
100%.
This example, and I don't remember, you remember watching Lady and the Tramp from Disney?
Absolutely.
The Siamese cats
Oh, yeah.
are absolutely 100% chaotic neutral.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chaotic for sure. Not good.
Right.
Well,
I mean, maybe like a little bit, but like.
they're neutral. I think they are absolutely positively chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bueller.
Yeah.
Bueller.
Yep.
Anybody who hasn't watched that movie needs to watch that movie. I know I'm old, and I
It's
know
a classic.
it is a classic. You've got to watch it. So Smeagol from Lord of the Rings, but not Gollum.
Yes. Yeah.
Little brain working.
Listen, let me think, okay?
You were like, "Mm,
I
about
had
that."
to wrap my mind around it. Let me do my thought process a drinking, okay?
I think Smeagol is chaotic neutral. He's not evil. Smeagol.
Yeah.
Gollum,
No.
Gollum's another story. Gollum is probably chaotic evil,
Right.
but
I don't know that we know enough. I mean, maybe we do. I haven't read the books, to be fair. But I don't know that we know enough about Smeagol.
what? You haven't read the books?
Listen.
I have the series. I have the entire series. You've got to read them.
Listen.
I must say, y'all, the movies do justice to the books. Which, how often can you say that? How often can you say, oh, the movie was as good as the book? Not very often. But these movies do justice.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
No, I mean, I think so too. I think based on what I know with the movies, I think Smeagol is, I mean,
He
yeah.
did still, I mean, but see, The Ring had influence too.
Right.
Which one of my friends, my best friends, Minda, who is no longer alive, she passed away, but she and I went and watched Lord of the Rings together, and she's like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Why didn't he just throw the ring into the? She had a hard time. She's a lot like my mother. She was a lot like my mother, who has a hard time envisioning beyond the reality.
Yeah.
Okay, we've gotten off track.
We sure have.
Again. Okay, so Q from Star Trek: The Next Generation. Did you watch that?
Listen, I know you're a big Trekkie and everything, but I have not.
My Lord, where have I gone wrong?
Yeah. So.
Q is definitely chaotic neutral. He's
Gotcha.
not good, but he's not, well, some of these chaotic neutral characters might be evil. I don't think he was evil. I think he just reveled in the chaos of everything.
Yeah.
House from House.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fiona from Burn Notice, which I don't know if you remember her. I love her. I love her as an actor. She is amazing, but I love her character in Burn Notice as well.
Yeah.
The trickster / Gabrielle from Supernatural.
Nice.
Which reminds me of your, I always think back to your story with your trickster and tricksters in general. But Supernatural, that episode where poor Sam, Dean died over and over and over. That is one of my favorite all-time Supernatural episodes.
It's a very good one, yeah.
That was all because of the trickster, who was also an angel, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So definitely chaotic. Who thought an angel? You would think angels, they're lawful good.
Right.
Right? What law?
So much.
Yeah. Coyote from the Mercy series is 100% chaotic neutral.
Absolutely. Yes.
He's not evil. He's not good.
No.
Chaotic neutral.
Absolutely.
Catwoman, I love my comic books.
Yeah. Yeah.
Deadpool.
Yeah. I agree with that.
He loves Deadpool. He is
I know.
Chaotic neutral.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I am so sorry, guys. I know this is going on a really long time, but this is a really fun episode, I think.
I love talking about this stuff.
Me too. Chaotic evil. A chaotic evil character does whatever his greed, hatred, or lust for destruction drives him to do.
Mm-hmm.
Chaotic evil people can be made to work together only by force, and their leader lasts only as long as he can thwart the attempts to topple him. which makes me think of the Mercy series with the vampires. I mean, not
Oh,
vampires,
yeah.
the
Yeah.
werewolves. And remember when Adam was hurt and all of the he
Yeah,
had
all the wolves like tried to, or like Paul tried to challenge him or whatever. Yeah.
um a let's see, freedom, randomness, and woe, which woe I don't really understand. I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
Life has no value. They are all megalomaniacs. Dare I say? No, I'm not going to say it. Um, individual freedom and choice is important, and the freedom of other.
Oh,
Individuals,
the freedom of other individuals.
okay. I've had a lot to drink now, and I haven't eaten dinner, so.
Well, the formatting between our notes is a little difficult for us. So,
Yeah, she uses word because she is in modern society.
because
And
I'm normal,
yeah, I use word perfect because I'm old.
abnormal.
I blame it on the district attorney of Gwinnett County because that's what he taught us. I love word perfect. It is much more
No,
friendly than word.
false.
Okay, well, that's a whole nother episode. What word processing place that you use. Okay. I don't remember what I read us. Okay.
No,
They're unimportant if they can't be held by yeah. Individuals, you have to hold your own place. I remember Buffy is a great example of this, where if you can't hold your spot,
yeah,
and the next person takes over.
right.
It's power without control. It's power without selfishness. It's selfishness without law and order.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think arguably chaotic evil characters or the chaotic evil alignment is the most dangerous, because it represents the destruction not only of beauty and life, but also of the order on which beauty and life depend. Now, I know we also discuss lawful evil as being the most dangerous alignment, and I think you could probably argue for each of these alignments as the most dangerous, but I think chaotic evil is so unpredictable that it could also be in the one of the contenders for the most dangerous.
It probably should be the most dangerous. And we've said that about every one of them. True neutral should be the most dangerous, but you're talking about chaotic, no regard for the law whatsoever, and evil, wanting to hurt people.
Right.
You've got to think that this is the worst of the worst.
Right.
Yeah.
To them, people are playthings. I think that really brings in, they're extremely dangerous, extremely evil. People are to be used and manipulated for their own personal pleasure. Chaotic. Yeah. I think that's almost if not the epitome of evil, is to just use people, and whether it hurts them or not.
Yeah.
So a chaotic evil character doesn't necessarily go after individuals just because they stand in the way of their success. It's more about, they'll harm or destroy people just because it pleases them. So it's less to do with, oh, this person's in my way, let me just kill him and get him out of the way. They're like, oh, I'm going to kill this person because I want to.
Well, and I kind of think they enjoy corrupting the other alignments. They're in this corner.
Yeah.
And I think that it brings them pleasure
to drag them down.
Yeah, down, so to speak. But
right.
I think that brings them pleasure.
Yeah, I think so too. They see nothing wrong with doing that kind of thing. They have no qualms about taking whatever they want, by whatever means possible. They have no issue with corrupting people. They have no issue with taking people as playthings or killing them or whatever.
Yeah, or whatever. I mean, that's
right.
Frightening to me. Yeah.
Right. Chaotic evil is sometimes called the demonic alignment because demons are often the epitome of chaotic evil. A lot of the time, demons, if you have them in your stories, or if they exist as the typical ideal or stereotype of demons, I guess they would be a chaotic evil alignment.
I think we need to do an episode on demons, actually.
There's so many different
There
types
are.
used in urban fantasy.
Trick deals with demons, but they're not demons. There are so many different ways to view demons. I mean, we could probably do several episodes on how to do demons.
Yeah.
Which is huge for urban fantasy.
Right.
And there's a lot of stories out there we could talk about. I can't remember her name now, but there's another author who has written her dad, the character's dad was the devil. It's something
that sounds familiar.
Something
KF Breen.
KF Breen, I think that's it.
I see her get recommended a lot.
I have read her stuff. Daddy and I would, when we were traveling, to go and see Courtney all the time, and when traveling was okay because COVID wasn't a thing, we would listen to books on tape. And that one, she is a demon. She is the devil's daughter.
Yeah.
And excellent ideas. There are lots and lots of ideas out there for us as urban fantasy writers.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think those would be fun episodes to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got adjectives for chaotic evil characters. So they're typically violent, cruel, capricious, malicious, untrustworthy, unreliable, heartless, volatile, inconsistent, uncaring, unfeeling, deceitful, discourteous, and selfish. So they sound like real winners.
Yeah, but you have to be careful not to make it stereotypical too.
I mean, yeah, if you're looking at this alignment chart and you're like, I want a chaotic evil character, obviously don't make them stereotypical. There are ways to do it. You've
got to still think about the motives and the reasons, and know your character. You need to know your character. So the philosophies of the chaotic evil are: you shall lie whenever convenient. You shall harm the innocent whenever convenient. You shall kill for pleasure. You shall not aid the weak. You shall not honor any other before yourself. Which kind of makes me think of neutral as well.
Yeah, but I think that falls into the evil alignment in general is always,
yourself
you above others. Yeah.
You shall break the law whenever convenient.
Mm-hmm.
You shall betray friends, family, community, and nation whenever convenient. Which makes me think of, what is the series, the Marvel series? We watch it on TV.
Mm. I don't know.
I'll think of it in a minute. It's not one that I had thought of before. You shall pursue all forms of pleasure. You shall seek unlimited power over others and unlimited freedom for yourself.
Right.
You don't get
a shoot.
You don't get anything. You don't. So, examples. The Joker from The Dark Knight. Now, there are several epitomes of the Joker.
Yeah.
But the Joker from The Dark Knight is the one that is definitely chaotic evil.
Yeah.
And I love my comic books. And different comic books portray different villains, so to speak, differently. But The Dark Knight, I'm a nerd, I'm sorry, but the Joker from The Dark Knight is good. Okay, so have you seen Clockwork Orange?
Yeah, but like a long time ago.
That is something I also think that everybody needs to watch. It's an old film. But Alex from a Clockwork Orange was chaotic evil, and they attempted to subdue him. There are so many lessons to be learned from a Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
But Alex from that is chaotic evil. Harley Quinn mean, a lot of these are comic book characters, which, as we've talked about before, when you try to go to the extremes of everything, that's not
Right.
always realistic.
Right.
But Harley Quinn, she shifts, well, at least in the movies, if you watch her movies, she shifts from chaotic evil to maybe chaotic neutral.
Right.
She's kind of good. Ooh.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know, right? Bellatrix Lestrange.
Definitely chaotic evil.
Potter, absolutely.
Yeah.
Joffrey from Game of Thrones. Joffrey Baratheon.
100% evil.
That man, I mean, at some point back then when I was watching Game of Thrones as it was coming out, I had on my Facebook, the death of him.
Yeah.
I posted that. I was like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely chaotic evil. And Ramsay Bolton also.
Absolutely.
Chaotic evil.
Yeah.
You know, you got to feel for Sansa for that one.
Right.
Oh my God. I'm about ready to watch that again. I have a cookbook, y'all. I got a cookbook at the Renaissance Festival that was Game of Thrones cookbook, and I am ready to watch the whole series from start to finish with recipes all the way through.
That's a lot.
I'm ready. Are you ready? Is Sydney ready?
Probably not.
Has she watched Game of Thrones?
I'm sure she has. We haven't talked about it.
How do you not talk about Game of Thrones?
Because I wasn't a fan of the ending. I don't know. Meh.
You gotta read the books.
Have you read the books?
No.
Okay then.
But I know that the books are not the same as the ending from what we watched.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving on. Oh, Firefly. You watched Firefly, right?
Yes, yes.
The Reavers from Firefly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Chaotic evil.
Yeah.
Anubis from Stargate SG-1. Did you watch that series?
No.
Oh, so good. Daddy and I watched them when as they were coming out live. We watched every week. You remember when we did that with you for Buffy? We would go to
Absolutely.
and we would we got to get home in time to watch Buffy.
Yeah, I remember that. Absolutely. I think that's part of the reason I love Buffy so much is because it's very nostalgic.
Yeah, different world. I mean,
Yeah.
we totally live in a different world right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so Angelus from Buffy.
Yeah.
He is
100%.
chaotic evil.
Very.
Glory from Buffy.
Yes.
Remember her?
Oh, of course I remember her. That's my favorite season.
I think you
season
watched
5.
her more recently than I have watched her.
Yeah.
The
I
whole
do like a yearly rewatch.
I'm ready to rewatch. I wish that you all lived close enough, and I hope that Courtney comes down and works at University of Georgia. They'd be lucky to have her.
Mm-hmm.
If all of my children could live nearby, I would be so happy. The Leviathans from Supernatural.
Yeah, I've only watched four seasons or whatever, but that sounds like something that would be right.
I can't decide if they're neutral. I don't know. They are evil, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know. Lucifer from Supernatural. I'm a big Supernatural fan, obviously.
Yeah.
Hobbs. You've only gotten through season 4, so what can I say?
Yeah.
We can talk more when you watch more. Moving on, we've got to remember this is just little pigeonholes. We've got to add depth to our characters.
Yeah.
Use the alignment chart as a starting point. We're not saying, oh, you've got to pigeonhole your character. Like Taylor said all through this episode, people are fluid.
Right.
And reality is fluid.
Right.
You know, I mean, I went from thinking, oh, I'm lawful good to thinking maybe I'm chaotic. You know, I do love the law, but I'm
Yeah.
not pigeonholed, and that I'm not going to love the law above the good of the people.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, absolutely. There's more to people than just fitting inside a box. No one fits in a box in anything, in terms of labels, and we're very limited by language and that kind of thing. So I think we're all very fluid in terms of this alignment chart. You know, like you said, you go from lawful good to chaotic good or
But
whatever.
I'm never neutral, which is interesting. I actually fluctuate between lawful and chaotic. There's no neutral.
Maybe there is.
I don't think I'm not, I'm one or the other. I don't think that there is no neutral in between.
I mean, there, but maybe not for you.
Maybe not for me.
Yeah, no, I think it's an interesting thing to think about in terms of your characters and where you want them to go and how they fit into your plot and your story, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think these episodes, all three of them, are very important to make you step back and say, okay, where do I want my character to be? And not just your main character, not
Yeah.
just the bad guy, but all of your characters need to have this depth, and you've got to think about that.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think so. That's all I've got.
Well, just as a quick little side note, I took the test on that website that we've been using, which was easydamus.com.
I didn't know there was a test.
It was just on the sidebar.
I have to go take the test.
Well, you'll have to do that and update us on the
next time.
However, I got true neutral, and I feel like I was very confined by the options that they gave us to answer with. Well, listen to what I'm saying, woman. Listen, I feel like the choices that they gave us forced you into a corner with what you had to choose.
Okay.
So, it'd be like, this isn't one of the questions, but it was like, would you rob a bank? And it'd be like, no, I would never. That's against the law. Or no, but I would think about it because I would want money. Versus, yes, I would do it because who cares about the law? And yes, I would do it. But would I feel that? There's 4 choices and circumstances and
simplistic. I mean, it's like the Harry Potter house quizzes. You got to find the right one.
Right. Yeah.
That may not have been the right one.
Right. So I think I lean more towards neutral good, but the test told me I was true.
I think Daddy's neutral good. I think you're neutral good. I think a lot of my children are a lot of Daddy, which thank God for that, because I am a wild, unpredictable thing. I do love the law.
Yes.
Thank God. Otherwise, I might be way off the chart the other end. No, I love people. I believe in people. I have faith in people.
Yeah.
I'll have to find some more tests. Hey, you take the test and tell us.
Let us know what y'all are.
Y'all. Yeah.
And I have a quick interview question.
Oh, interview question. Okay.
Do you have any chaotic characters in your books? And if so, who?
I think all my fairies are chaotic.
I would agree with that.
Although Leary, maybe not.
I think she's still chaotic, but like
she has an exceptional love of the rules.
Yeah.
Which doesn't necessarily make her lawful. I think she's still chaotic. She's not evil.
No.
She might be neutral.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. It's hard to say with her. But like the one who turned the cat purple.
Yeah.
Chaotic.
Yeah. 100%.
Could be evil. I think my fairies aren't evil. I think that they are actually neutral.
I think they're more neutral.
All of my teenager characters are chaotic.
Yeah.
They haven't learned yet what the law is and what they want to believe in,
Yeah.
which makes them fascinating to me.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. I like chaotic characters. I like you obviously have a thing for the young, snarky side character type thing.
And they haven't learned yet. So that kind of forgives them.
Yeah.
They're not like they're 80-year-old people going, "Oh, I'm going to be evil now." They're young and they're experimenting. What about you?
I think Mac is definitely chaotic good. She's the trickster character that I have, and I definitely think she's chaotic.
Definitely chaotic.
Yeah. And I think definitely good. I don't think there's a question there.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not neutral. She's not all about herself.
Yeah.
She wants to help other people. Otherwise, she wouldn't have even stopped the shooting to begin with.
Right. Right. So I think definitely Mac.
What other?
Otherwise, I think the might
Delaney.
Louie, I think is. I think I talked about her last week. I think she's more neutral.
Delaney.
Like a neutral good.
Mm,
I think Delaney's either a neutral or a lawful.
what else do you have?
I've got Aiden. She's probably. She could be chaotic.
Neutral.
She's very fiery. She's got herself a temper.
Neutral. Sure, though.
Yeah.
Who else? What else is yours?
I've got. I don't know. I've got a bunch of different things to play with.
I'm thinking about in Hello, Fable.
Yeah.
I said she's chaotic, but she works for this. It's like the CIA, except for so she's got to follow the law, but she enjoys breaking the rules. She doesn't break the law, but she breaks the rules.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Having sex on the desk of her boss is not breaking the law, but it's definitely breaking the rules. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Mac is really the main one of mine. Well, and then her antagonist is probably chaotic evil. Because he's a trickster too. Yeah. He's a trickster too, and he's willing to hurt anyone. It doesn't matter.
I think you're right. I think he would be chaotic evil.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have anybody that's chaotic evil. And I don't know that I have anybody that's chaotic, that's lawful good either.
Yeah.
Other than my freaking self, which I now think I fluctuate. I'm not as boring as I thought I might be.
Absolutely. Well, neat.
So we have to post this by midnight tonight. So
yeah, do your little outro.
Thank you guys for listening. What is the extra?
Oh my goodness. All right. Thank you guys for listening. You can come and find us on our website at eatdrinkright.podcast.com. All of our social media is there. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, pretty much everything. Come and find us. You can message us on our website. You can message us on any of those platforms, and we would love to hear ideas from y'all. My mom is always looking for jokes. We would love to hear about y'all's alignment and what you think of these episodes. So let us know. Thank you guys for listening.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. Bye.